What's up, Taiwan? I'm Louise with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan says the delivery of advanced US fighter jets has been delayed by 2 years, but it's not going to fine the US for breach of contract. The first batch of 66 F-16V fighters was supposed to arrive this year. The deal to purchase the jets was worth around $8 billion. The fighters will bring Taiwan's F-16 fleet to more than 200, the largest in Asia. For more on the delay, TaiwanPlus reporter Jaime Ocon spoke to retired Taiwan Army General Richard Hu.
Do we know what's causing the delay of these brand new fighter jets to Taiwan?
I think according to the military industry, they mentioned that because of COVID-19 pandemic, and also over the last maybe 2 years, the lack of labels in doing those jobs. So there's a delay to maybe they will start deliver those fighter jets not until 2025. Actually, that will create a kind of security vacancy to Taiwan's defense, because almost all of Taiwanese fighter jets, they are very close to 30 years old already.
And how important is the F-16 to Taiwan's Air Force, given the fact that it doesn't have the most modern aircraft fleet?
Actually, we encounter that kind of mechanical and auto maintenance problems. Those problems are looming large over the years. Just to give you a hint, according to the accident rate of Taiwanese Air Force in the last 10 years, is abnormally high, actually. Just in a little bit more than 2 years, we crashed 7 fighter jets. So that's huge for our fighters. That's unacceptable.
That was retired Taiwan Army General Richard Hu speaking to our reporter Jaime Ocon. Russia has accused Ukraine of attempting to assassinate President Vladimir Putin. That's after an alleged drone attack on the Kremlin in Moscow. Russia says it disabled 2 drones flying over the government's complex. Video has been released showing 2 objects exploding over Putin's residence and the site's Senate building. The Kremlin says the incident was an attempt on Putin's life, though the Russian president was not in the building at the time. Ukraine has strongly denied any involvement, saying that Russia staged the attack. Be extra careful when traveling to China. That's the warning from Taiwan to its citizens following Beijing's decision to expand its anti-espionage law.
民众到对岸去进行交流的时候，要特别注意到我们刚刚所提到的这一点，包括你手机里面的一个内容，你可能在进出中国海关的过程当中，就已经被中国海关相关的安全人员来进行检查，所以这部分也要特别的小心。
From July the 1st, the new version of China's counter-espionage law will broaden the definition of spying. It means anything related to, quote, national security and interests is under the same protection as state secrets. Hundreds of thousands of Taiwanese live in China. Millions also traveled between the 2 countries each year before the COVID pandemic. Taiwanese tech firm TSMC is in talks to build a chip plant in Germany. That's according to Bloomberg News. The report says the semiconductor manufacturing giant plans to invest $11 billion in the venture. TSMC told TaiwanPlus the company is still evaluating building a fab in Europe and could not comment further. TSMC already plans facilities in the United States and Japan. Various other countries are also looking to establish domestic chip-making facilities. A Taichung high school in central Taiwan is under fire for posters that used a racist slur against Indigenous people. The incident has reignited conversations about racism in schools. Bing Wong has this report.
An apology from a high school principal in Taichung, central Taiwan, to his school's Indigenous students and their parents. This comes after other pupils made a racist poster against Indigenous people, which was hung at a school fair. The poster shows discriminatory language using homophones in Mandarin.
本校对于让原住民族朋友受到歧视，甚至于感受到伤害，感到十分的抱歉，并且愿意承担所有的教育责任。
The principal says the poster was immediately removed. The students responsible also apologized via a statement. Bullying and racism against members of the indigenous community are common in Taiwanese schools. Just last year, an indigenous student, also in Taichung, was verbally abused by a classmate, resulting in a fight. A few weeks ago, indigenous students in the same city were insulted in a messaging app. They left the group, but the other members kept re-adding them.
我们的原住民孩子不敢上学，因为他们在学校被拉群组，被进去辱骂、取笑、嘲弄、霸凌。
There are 16 officially recognized indigenous groups in Taiwan, all with their own rich history. Numbering around 600,000, indigenous people make up 2.5% of the population. Because of how small a minority they are, rights activists are calling for schools to have better understanding of indigenous peoples.
是不是可以有一个辅导的机制，可以把这些族群主流化的思维纳进去这些辅导的流程里面？
The Ministry of Education will launch a full investigation into the incident. The school has promised to get to the bottom of the matter and ensure indigenous students get the help they need. Ricky and Bing Wong for TaiwanPlus.
Police have caught thousands of motorists in Greater Taipei in just 2 days of a crackdown on traffic violations. Taiwan on Monday rolled out higher fines for not giving way to pedestrians at zebra crossings. It's part of a campaign to protect the right of way of people on Taiwan's streets. These efforts come after a report from CNN labelled Taiwan a living hell for pedestrians. Last year, almost 400 people were killed while walking on Taiwan's roads. An illegal dog breeding operation has been busted in northern Taiwan. Animal control found dozens of dogs, including popular breeds, living in squalid conditions. The suspected breeder now faces a possible fine. John Van Trieste has more.
65 dogs living in their own bodily waste. That's what Hsinchu County Councilor Zhu Jianming discovered in a local home. He'd been called to the area to look into a case of cat abuse. Instead, he found even more animals in need.
里面的那个狗的嘈杂声非常的大声。那进去里面查看的时候，发现到里面很多的品种犬，生活的状况也非常的糟糕。
Zhu called animal control. Staff who reported to the scene think this is an illegal breeding operation, rearing dogs for sale to pet shops. The suspected breeder says they just take in unwanted dogs that can no longer breed, but the dogs included a range of popular dog breeds. The suspected breeder now faces possible legal action.
我们会持续调查征信事主是否有买卖还有繁殖宠物的这个行为。如果发现有这个行为的话，我们会依动物保法第25条之2来没入所有的犬只并裁罚新台币10万元以上的罚款。
And that fine could reach more than $8,000 US. Vets say animal welfare concerns aren't the only reason to stay clear of illegal breeders.
非法繁殖买来的狗狗、猫猫，问题会比较多，环境差、寄生虫的问题就一定很多。没有定期去洗澡或整理它的话，它的皮肤病这些问题也会很多。
But they also say animals from illegal breeders come at a steep discount, costing as little as half of what reputable ones charge. That means there's a temptation for pet shops to turn to underground breeding centers. Vets say adopting pets from shelters is one way to stop this cycle of lawbreaking and abuse. Eason Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
A police chief in New Taipei City has been detained for alleged ties to a Taiwanese scam group that operates out of Cambodia. Police say they were investigating the fraud ring's main suspect when they also found records of contact with the chief, who has been identified by his surname Ye. He's accused of leaking sensitive data to the group and was detained on Thursday. Authorities say over $1,000 US worth of materials were seized from his home. Fraud rings are a serious problem in Southeast Asia, with thousands falling prey to fake ads for jobs and phishing scams. At least 3 deaths have been connected to this particular criminal group. A 9th person has died as a result of a factory fire last week in central Taiwan. The 49-year-old woman died after days in critical condition following the fire at a food processing plant in Changhua County. 13 people were also injured. The cause of the blaze is still under investigation. Local authorities have since ordered safety inspections at the more than 100 food plants in the area. Taiwan has downgraded its COVID-19 alert level, but it's still going to be a while before the country's travel industry recovers. Taiwan's Aviation Authority predicts the volume of international flights won't return to pre-pandemic levels until 2025. Flights so far this year have been about half of what they were before 2020. But authorities say flights from Taiwan to North America, Europe, South Asia, and the Middle East have already shown significant recovery. A team in Taiwan's professional baseball league is asking fans not to hit its mascot. Leslie Liao explains.
Wei Di is the mascot for the Taichung Dragons, one of Taiwan's professional baseball teams. If you know Taiwanese baseball, then you know games can get rowdy, and mascots are expected to carry a lot of that energy. They flip, they dance, they do it all. But what's not in their job description is dealing with aggression from fans. Recently, a fan assaulted Wei Di after a game, hitting him on the back of the head. Wei Di suffered some vertigo and vomiting, but they're otherwise fine. Even so, the Taichung Dragons have released a statement urging fans to play nice with their mascot. Mascots are a universally loved part of sports teams worldwide, and roughhousing with them might come from sports cultures from other countries. For example, Clutch, the mascot of the NBA's Houston Rockets, is known for being a troublemaker. He scares his teammates and isn't above slamming a sheet cake into a fan of the opposing team. Then you have the Philly fanatic who's known for doing things like this. Mascots are supposed to encourage fun, but sometimes at sporting events, it can be easy to take things too far. So as Wei Di will tell you, it's important to remember not to get too carried away. James Lin and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Waste not, want not. Taiwan's state-owned aerospace company has teamed up with Florists to produce eye-catching art installations. Their materials, scrap that was originally destined for the incinerator. Jeremy Olivier has the details.
One person's trash, another's treasure. Building airplanes is a very precise business, but it produces a lot of waste materials, much of which gets incinerated. Taiwan's Aerospace Industrial Development Corporation knows this all too well. The state-owned company develops parts for many of the country's commercial and military aircraft. Recently, it partnered with 10 local florists to turn scrap materials from its production process into elaborate works of art. The pieces combine the scraps with chunks of camphor wood and dragon juniper, as well as fallen leaves. Their unique designs have caught the eye of local residents.
那材料分开看的话，其实是蛮冲突的。它把它设计成一个地景装置艺术的话，其实是没有违和感。我觉得不错哎，很创新。
很创新，这个有点超出大部分的装置艺术的想象。
These installations are a reminder that, with a little imagination, even what we think of as waste can be given new life and meaning. Andy Xue and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
Tuna season is in full swing in southern Taiwan, and buyers are rushing to snatch up the fish. But some are having a spot of trouble transporting it. Several people tried to haul away a whole tuna on their scooters. Others called in construction vehicles to lug several of the fish at once, but most just used hand carts. Taiwan's tuna fishing season runs from April through June. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, we leave you with images of hundreds of historical artifacts returned to Peru from the United States and Western Europe. I'm Louise Watt. Take care, and we'll see you next time.